Student support services are going to help you achieve your goals in Palm Beach State College. Academic advising, Career Center is here for you whenever you need them. Just walk into their office and have an appointment.
At Palm Beach State College Panther's Pantry, we provide free food, essential items for everyone. It's simple, it's easy, supportive, and it's available at all campuses.
Here at Boca campus, students are supported in ways that keep them prepared and confident. Panther's Closet supports students by offering professional clothing and basic essentials for as low as $1.
The Honors College at Palm Beach State College offers academic distinction, leadership opportunities, and a path towards excellence.
The Student Learning Center here at the Loxahatchee Groves campus offers free tutoring services to all Palm Beach State College students. We offer help with their math, writing, and science homework almost every single day of the work week from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
The Academic Research Center here at Palm Beach State provides support for veterans and aids in the transition to civilian life and academic success.
The Testing Center provides a quiet, professional space that allows students to stay on track with their academic goals.
Palm Beach State College Theater Program helps build creativity, confidence, and a sense of community, preparing you not just for the stage, but for life.
At the Palm Beach Gardens campus, the Student Lounge helps students feel connected, have new friends, join new clubs, and overall feel the Panther experience life.
Here at the Loxahatchee Groves campus, we have an excellent financial aid advisor, Miss Effie Jackson, who will help students with their FAFSA applications to support their future careers here at Palm Beach State College.